What if I told you more leads doesn't always equal more money? In this video, we're going to be talking about why more leads doesn't mean more sales, the hidden cost of chasing low quality leads. Number three, the time and effort wasted on, let's say, 400 cheap leads versus 16 high intent leads. And number four, the math behind which actually makes you more money. I just got off the phone with a real estate agent and he was laughing at the fact that we were paying $68 for 16 leads of sellers looking to list their property within the next 30 to 60 days. And he was boasting how he had 400 leads at $6 a piece and how he would much rather call 100 to 200 people, go on a street, knock on 100 doors just to get one or two opportunities. And I was just thinking, I know that's probably a good way to start, but if you are an experienced business person, like he was saying that he is, wouldn't it make more sense to make better use of your time and not having to do all that all the time? I'm not saying that you have to eliminate all that, but it's like fishing. You can cast a big net in the ocean and obviously you're gonna catch a lot of fish. But the question is, how many of those fish are actually gonna be of quality? Versus, let's say, the spear approach or the sniper approach, right? High quality leads are like fishing with a spear. You target the best and you get exactly what you want. And how we do that sniper approach on our end is we run ads from Facebook and Instagram. And I know a lot of businesses have said that they've put a lot of money into ads and it never works. And they much rather just do what they're doing with referrals and word of mouth. But at the end of the day, you not being able to capitalize on things like Facebook and Instagram means that you don't have the right strategies in place to actually produce high quality opportunities for you and your business. You got to think, if all the businesses that you probably look up to are running these campaigns, generating these opportunities, I mean, there has to be something that's working. And to say that you haven't mastered that specific marketing channel that converts to high quality buyers, that's more of a skill set issue rather than a platform issue. So the illusion of more leads. On paper, 400 leads at 600 sounds like a dream, but is it really? That's more people, more chances to sell. That's what a lot of people think. But let's break it down what that actually means in the sake of time, effort, and also, most importantly, conversion rates. On paper, that all makes sense, but most of these leads at 400 leads at $6 a piece are probably low intent because whatever ad that you have up, the low barrier to entry to submit their forms. You have it probably on a very broad targeted base. You're probably targeting 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds. In this case of real estate, how many 18, 19, 20-year-olds are looking to actually purchase a home in the next even year? You know, the chances of that happening is very, very slim. All right, so we're a couple minutes into this video. If you guys find this video valuable so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this. So oftentimes they clicked out of curiosity and not because they are ready to buy. With the illusion of more leads, you now have 400 people to follow up with, qualify, nurture, and most of these people probably won't even respond. You guys probably know it. You guys ran these campaigns or tried running ads, and most of these people are not responsive. And you don't have the strategies to get them to respond, so you think that this whole marketing, online marketing just does not work in its entirety. So, but a reality check is how many of those actually turn into buyers? Maybe 4, 5 if you're lucky, you know? And the time and energy that is spent in doing all that is probably crazy with 400 leads just to get 4 or 5 people, right? So let's say you close about 1% of those 400 leads. That's 4 paying customers. So now let's compare to the 16 leads that opt in at $68 a piece. We have to know that they've already shown a strong buying signal. Then this is based off of the copy that we put on the ad. And when we contact them, we're asking specific questions just to gauge their interest, right? So that's 16 people we're going through that have shown a strong buying signal. They're more likely to trust you, respond, and more than likely move forward fairly quickly compared to the 400 people that you have to nurture and follow up with, which we'll get into that. in a little bit. Even if you close just at 30%, you're walking away with 5 paying customers in a short amount of time. So ultimately that becomes less work and more revenue for your business. Now let's factor in the time, because as a business owner, your time is probably the most precious thing when it comes to running your business and creating the most opportunities for your business, right? And your time is probably worth more than money, I would like to argue. So think about the time it would take to chase 400 leads, right? You're dialing numbers, you're sending emails, you're leaving voicemails, and most of the times you're getting ignored. So even at 2 minutes per lead, that's 13 hours just reaching out. And I know you say that you have the automations, the email sequence, you put them in a nurture campaign, but what if those same amount of leads convert a lot faster? How many more deals would you be closing? How much more revenue would you be producing for your business? How faster can you scale if that's something that you want to do within your business? Again, that's not counting the follow-up, the no-shows, the time wasted on people who just never intended to buy in the first place. Now, with the 16 leads, that's less people that I have to go through, and you can deeply engage, you can qualify a lot faster, and you can ultimately close a lot faster for you and your business. We know that would be a smoother, more efficient process, because that would be less frustration, more time to grow your business, and more time to focus on more high-level tasks that, you can now train, let's say, more sales agents to do exactly what you're doing and focus on different areas of your business that require more of your attention. And as I was on the phone with this guy, I was just thinking, like, why do most business think that more is better? I ultimately think that it's a trap, right? So it's vanity metrics. Seeing a full pipeline feels good, but feelings don't pay the bills. And I just got off the phone with a contractor, literally the call before that, and that was one of his points. He was shooting videos with a company, and they're saying, yeah, just wait for the results to happen. And he says, like, these views and likes don't pay my bills. So the lack of tracking. So most don't know their actual conversion rates and just assume that more leads equal more revenue. But if I have more leads in my pipeline and more than half of them, closer to like 70 to 80% of them, are not looking to buy anytime soon, would we argue that more leads actually cause more headache and more energy spent on areas that we could be applying that elsewhere in our business? If you're finding this video helpful, make sure to like this video, and while you're at it, hit subscribe. With the fear of high cost, let's say at $68 per lead, I know it sounds expensive, but if it makes you more money, it's actually cheaper. So for this example, at $68 a lead, when we got 16 leads, out of the 16 leads, one of them was a $1.8 million listing. One of them had 3 properties that he was looking to sell. Another one had an $800,000 property that they were looking to sell in the next 3 to 4 months. And a couple of them were a little bit longer down the timeline. And the time it took to get to that stage, get on the phone, qualify them, get in person, was less than the 13 hours that this other agent would have to put in to the outreach, the cold calls, the follow-ups, and a lot of no-shows and frustration. And ultimately, now your energy gets a lot lower because now you feel defeated. You feel like what you're doing with chasing these 400 leads doesn't work. Now you're focusing more on the negative side of your outreach and your marketing channels, instead of focusing on, buyers and sellers that want to actually do business with you in the next 30 to 60 days, or if you're a contracting company, in the next couple of weeks, depending on the scope of the project. So not only are you paying a little bit more, but you're also gaining a lot more time back and a lot more revenue at the end of the day, because there's a clear-cut formula that you're following that gets the right type of customers into your sales funnel. So how to shift to a quality first mindset? You got to track your closing rates. So how many of those leads actually turn to sales? And we want to test the quality source. So we want to pay for more buyers, not just traffic. It's cool. We can send 1 million, users to your website, but how many of those people are going to convert? There's an example where there's an influencer who had 1 million followers online, and then she went to go start a clothing brand, right? And then she made her first launch and then she didn't sell more than 5 items. So 1 million followers on your platform doesn't always mean that every one of those people are going to be engaged. I rather have a lower follower count or traffic source with more high intent buyers for whatever product or service that I'm offering than rather having like 1 million views on a post or 1 million traffic visits to your website and ultimately getting a very, very low conversion rate. And obviously as the number increases, you know, your conversion rates kind of drop. But if we can fix that and alter that as much as we can, not only are we going to save some time, we're going to save money and ultimately be able to impact our business in a positive way. I'm sure you as a business owner, you value your time. The less time wasted on unqualified leads, the more time you have to close more deals. That was my little rant off of a couple conversations that I had this past week. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button, comment down below, and we'll see you guys next time.